What is going on, everybody? What is going on? The catch fam. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Hope everybody is having a great weekend. Hope your guys' Saturday has been phenomenal. Hope you guys are ready for another live 2025 fantasy football draft. Gonna hop into an underdog draft tonight. Maybe a couple. See what happens. Got a couple different options. I haven't done any corgi entries yet, so I think that's what I'm gravitating towards. But we'll see what the night brings. We got Superflex Puppy back, and still got Best Ball Mania, of course, as an option. But I'm trying to hold off as long as possible in terms of Best Ball Mania entries, trying to push it back a little bit. So I want to do a corgi entry. Pitbull's a $20 entry. So yeah, I think I'll kick it off with the corgi, and then we'll see what goes from there. So I'm gonna go ahead and enter the 22nd per lobby, or 22nd per pick lobby, excuse me. 5 spots left. I know some of you guys out there, maybe you've already done your entry for this contest, but just stick around. Like I said, we may enter, I probably will enter a second draft tonight as well. So I'll sit back for a couple minutes and see, because yeah, I don't know like if this is gonna fill quickly, because it's single entry, and this tournament opened I don't know, like a week or so ago. So if it doesn't fill too quickly, I may exit out and just enter Best Ball Mania for the night. So we'll see what happens here. But either way, I kind of want to get drafting. So I feel like it's going to take forever. It's going to take forever, isn't it? All right, we're leaving. Redo. All right, I'm going to enter a Best Ball Mania. Whatever. All right, Best Ball Mania, 20 seconds per pick. Let's do it, boys and girls. We're filled. Look at the difference there. All right, don't worry, guys. If you didn't get in on this one, I will enter another one tonight. Change of plans happen quickly. All right, let me see here. Get it all set up. All right, so we'll warm up. And yeah, I just don't know if the corgi was going to work out in terms of actually being filled in time for the stream to start. So there we go. All right, nothing to really go over since I last talked to you guys. So we're just gonna hang out Saturday night. I am like super tired, but I wanted to stream nonetheless. So here we are, just gonna hang out, throw together fantasy football team or two. Let's do it. So any fantasy football questions that you guys have, anything that you guys want to talk about, NFL related, fantasy football, whatever it may be, get in the live chat. And like I said, I'll hop into a second draft after this as well. So for anyone out there wanting to draft tonight, don't worry. All right, sitting at the 1-3 tonight. May end up, yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's going to be Barkley or Bijan. Let's go Bijan. I feel like I've been gravitating towards Bijan as of late. But I'm perfectly okay with Barkley. I don't have any fear of Barkley right there, personally. Barkley goes at the 1-4. Lamb gone at the 1-5. All right, fantasy footballers on the clock here at the 1-6. And they go with Jahmyr Gibbs. So pretty much in order here outside of Bijan over Barkley so far. All right, let me know how you guys are doing. Let me know what's going on. What's up, J-Dubs? You're good, bro. I kind of switched gears pretty quickly there. Plus, when I entered, I think I was the final entry, honestly, because as soon as I entered, it was filled. So no worries. Try to get in on a second one after this as well. Ooh, C-Mac at the 1-8 tonight. I mean, I guess if you want Christian McCaffrey that badly, like he's not going to last till pick 17, especially in best ball. For those of you guys who are like doing more best ball entries overall than I've done so far, are you seeing C-Mac go? Like, I know it's kind of like toying with the 112, maybe 111 area. I feel like I have not seen Bijan go at the 1-8. So that's kind of news to me. I'm still, especially in a 3 wide receiver set, I'm going Nika, Puka, Amon-Ra, B Tom before C-Mac, as well as Malik Neighbors. All right, Genty, Lundo, Henry gone. Thoughts on Jahmyr Gibbs and the Lions with the losses on the O-line? Yeah, I'm not personally like freaking out about it. I'll take the talent over the situation. Personally. I think some people are underestimating how much volume Monty got last year. When you really break it down, like Gibbs, he had like, I'll double check, but I want to say 3 like really big games while Monty was healthy. And in those last 3 weeks, Gibbs like absolutely balled out when Monty was hurt, because Monty got hurt week 15. And week 15, 16, 17, Gibbs had 25.4 or more fantasy points. He had 24.9 in week 12, 20 in week 8, a huge game in week 7 against the Vikings, a very good run defense in 32. Other than that, he didn't hit 20 fantasy points in a single game outside of those games. In week 18, which was that huge matchup determining who would win the division, he had a monstrous game, 46 fantasy points, but nobody was playing fantasy. So I'm going to start off double running back tonight. I really like Josh Jacobs in this range. I've been drafting a lot of T. Higgins, fair amount of Garrett Wilson. So I'm going to go Jacobs here. I'm going to see if Chase Brown will slide to me. We're going to start aggro running back tonight just for fun. But yeah, I mean, Gibbs was perfectly solid all year long. Like, there's no debating that. I mean, he still got you double digits every game last year. His worst performance was week 13 with 10.4 fantasy points. Where Monty single digits once outside of week 15 where he got hurt. And it was week 7 where he had 9 carries, 3 receptions, and he had a fumble. If he didn't have the fumble, depending on format, there goes Chase Brown, of course, he would have had 10 fantasy points. And once again, Gibbs had a lot of volume in that game, 15 touches on the ground, 7.7 yards per carry, 4 targets, 4 catches. That was Gibbs's second highest yards per carry, third highest, on the season. All right, maybe I'm not starting aggro running back. I don't mind Kyron or Breece Hall here personally. All the receivers I like are still here. But let's do it. Let's see what happens if we go aggro running back. I mean, Higgins, Wilson, Hill, Adams, McLaurin, JSN, Mike Evans, a really good tier wide receivers there. Ultimately, the deciding factor is Bijan and Jacobs had the same bye week. So, but yeah, you look at the Lions offensive line, Frank Ragnow retired, Kevin Zettler gone in free agency. It's definitely big. Definitely big. But I mean, Zettler is getting up there in age at age 35. And Ragnow is the bigger loss, I would say. I feel like I have to sneeze. Is why I keep pausing and then I don't sneeze. It's not a fun feeling, but still a very good offensive line. Taylor Decker, um, Penel Sewell, of course. Yeah, they got a big hole at guard. I mean, Graham Glasgow is still there at left guard. So, but right now they don't have a tremendous amount of. This is not what I need. Hold on. Show me 2004. Let me just make sure because I think it's basically the same. Yeah, because they might have Glasgow moved to center. So we got Tate Ratledge listed as right guard and Christian Mahogany listed at left guard. I don't know. I still think it's a really good system. I know they have a change of offensive coordinator, but still shaped by Dan Campbell, right? So, yeah, I think I'm good at the talent over the situation. I'm not really worried about any of the Lions' offensive players. Like Monty's going cheap enough that I don't mind Monty, depending on build. I'm not worried about Amon Ra. I'm not worried about Jameson Williams. I actually think Jameson Williams could benefit here. Call me crazy. I think Laporta will still be solid. I think Goff will be solid too. Oh man, should I go 4 running backs to start? Definitely not. James Cook is here. Could be interesting. But it's kind of a tough spot to go receiver. I don't hate this tier. Wow. I was hoping Devonta Smith would be there. Let's go JMO just for like the spike weeks. I mean, we're going all upside. I guess Sutton is more of a like solidified pick if he's here, but Worthy, Sutton, Pickens, Flowers, Ridley. I got to go with one of these guys with this next pick. 4 running backs a bit much. I think if you're going to go aggro running back, 3 is fine. Like in a redraft setting, 4, I think is okay if you're going to really commit to the strat. But in a setting like this where we're starting 3 wide receivers, I just don't want to push it. But I do like Cortland Sutton quite a bit here, so let's go with Sutton. And let's move on. CMC valid there. Yeah, I just wasn't sure. Like, I haven't seen him go that high. 1.8, pretty high. But like I said, I haven't been doing a lot of Best Ball Mania drafts, so trying to hold off. But I kind of had been thinking about doing one tonight either way. Very big into San Francisco pieces this year with the defense regression, especially Kittle. Yeah, the defense was bad last year. It was not good by any stretch. Not good by any stretch. But yeah, and I think also like ADP is pushed back for a lot of the Niners players, and like I guess outside of CMC, like Kittle's still going on average as a tight end 3. So I don't know if I want to say his ADP is too pushed back, but he is like there are a lot of drafts where like once Bowers and McBride go, like you definitely see Kittle slip at times, fall back a bit. So I don't know if it depends. I don't know if Kittle's really in that like area for me. But personally, like I do really like I would be more comfortable drafting Kittle at his ADP than drafting Bowers or McBride at such a premium price. And like I said, I have seen Kittle, especially in redraft settings, fall quite a bit in drafts at times. But like Pearsall, Jennings, they can be very, very cheap in drafts. And Brandon Ayuk as well. But I am not as high on Ayuk personally. I would just rather try and draft the wide receiver 2 there, not including Kittle, who could be viewed as a additional wide receiver, right? pass catcher at least. Albert, hello. I will say, Brock Purdy still very cheap in drafts. Andrea, what's going on? Hello, hello. If Cook falls, I'm interested. Yeah. And he didn't fall. Or did he? He did fall. Yeah, I could have taken him at pick 46. But I don't know, Bijan, Jacobs, Kyron, like I'm fine with that. Wow, some good wide receivers sliding back here. Addison and Chris Godwin is an interesting choice. And I like both a lot. Getting some good wide receiver value. I think Olave before Addison or Godwin. Like I get Addison might get suspended. I get Godwin could technically not be ready week 1, but like, man, I like both these players a lot right here. Let's go Chris Godwin. I'll take Addison happily with this next pick if he's there. I don't think he'll be there. I really like to get Jacoby Myers if Addison's not there. Then I think we start to drop into the next tier, but I'll take Khalil Shakir. I really like DeAndre Swift in this range, but he's got a week 5 bye. I already have 2 running backs on a week 5 bye. And we started out super aggressive at running back. So we got 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers. So we'll see who's available. There goes Addison. Joe Blacko, what's up? James is cooked. I think he's fine. And I think he'll be back with the Bills, personally. I just don't see, if he's not back with the Bills, where does he go? What team really needs a running back right now? It's a genuine question. I really don't feel like there's a single team that could make an aggressive move. Not that it would have to be that aggressive, right? All right, let's go Jacoby Myers. I'm happy with that pick. Like I said, I didn't think Addison was going to fall, but I'm happy with it. Dallas. Dallas is the only team I can think of that could use a running back. I think this might sound crazy, but I think Washington, with them really trying to make that jump, Brian Robinson Jr. has a large history of injury. Austin Eckler is up there. He got hurt at the end of last year. Maybe the Cardinals? Everyone likes Trey Benson. James Conner's getting up there in age. Benson's been very efficient when on the field, but I don't know. We're just playing scenarios here. Maybe Chicago. I mean, you guys would certainly agree, as everyone, their mom seems to hate DeAndre Swift other than me. But who behind Swift on that team has really proven themselves? I guess the Chiefs are always a team that gets brought up in these conversations. But yeah, I don't know. I think off the top of my head, looking at things, I think those are the only teams. I mean, there's always a surprise team in there. The Saints. Kamara is up there. They drafted Devin Neal. I think Kendre Miller's dust, but there's certainly time. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think James Cook is fine. I think he'll be back with the Bills. Yeah, you look at some of those games last year for Kittle. And Kittle's always a bit spiky, but Kittle was the true wide receiver 1 on the team last year. We talked about this in a recent stream. Jennings had 77 catches. Kittle had 78. Pearsall, 31. Yuck, 25. CMC, 15. Obviously, some of those guys hurt last year. All right, where am I going with this next pick? Is Bo Nix out there? I might try and get Nix at the turn. Dude, running backs just dry up so quickly in these drafts now. I'm going to go back-to-back running backs. I feel like wide receivers also completely drenched here. Y'all can call me crazy, but I'm going Najee Harris here. I kind of like I don't know. Like, there's a lot of coach speak coming out about Travis Etienne, but I just don't know if I can trust that backfield. I guess a Bo Nix stack here makes sense, or a Baker, Chris Godwin. But I think I'm just going to lock up my running backs. I might reach on J.K. Dobbins. You don't think Dobbins will be there at 118? Man. The only like wide receiver kind of like in this range, I could have gone Bo Nix and Evan Ingram. I do like Zach Charbonnet in this range. I do like Tyrone Tracy. But let's get a wide receiver. Let's go Rashad Bateman. Let's just play it smart. I really like Dobbins though. Like I would be happy to draft Dobbins right there ahead of ADP. Call me crazy. But also like I like Tajay Spears. I like Rashad White. Like there's some other good like handcuff type running backs in that range. So we'll hold off. If we don't get Dobbins, not the end of the world. We'll go late round quarterback. I'm not gonna be hard pressed for a stack here, but Goff, we might be able to land Goff. Goff and Dobbins are the targets, and Goff still gives us a stack. But yeah, like I could have gotten Bo Nix and Ingram, for example. So yeah, I mean Kittle, the ceilings are always high. Did he hit 30 points last year? No. Like he was so good at the end of the year. Through the playoffs, double digits every week. What's going on, cats? I feel like it changed all your guys's I feel like it changed all your guys' YouTube usernames. What's up with that? Yeah, I'll be running the second one, cats. I feel like your guys' usernames are changed. We got Bijan Jacobs, Kyron, Najee Harris, J-Mo, Sutton, Godwin, Myers, Bateman. We went 3 running backs to start. I don't hate this team. A little different. Nick, to stopping by to say have a great night and crush this draft. Thank you so much, my guy. Appreciate it. We will try to catch it or smash it, crush it. Taylor, this is Best Ball Mania. Dang it, we didn't get Goff. Lame. Wow, Evan Ingram kind of lasted long there, too. Should I push? Should I push Dobbins or just take him? Because I like Dak a lot here. I'm just going to push it. All right, we're done at running back. You know, we got some overlapping buys. Sell me on Najee. Can't get behind it. Yeah, I mean, it's a run-first offense. I like Amarian Hampton as much as the next guy. For sure. But like I think Najee is going to easily have a role in this team. He still has average double-digit fantasy points 3 years in a row. He's had over 1,000 rushing yards 3 years in a row. He's had 6+ touchdowns 3 years in a row. He's averaged like 31 catches past 3 years. So, at a low ADP, low risk, I have no problem drafting him. RB4. I guess go Dak here. Don't mind Johnny Smith, Christian Kirk, Marvin Mims. Interesting names. Let's go Dak. Get our QB1. No stacks with the quarterbacks tonight. I guess that means we have to draft Ferguson. Throw him on the queue. He's pick ADP's 145. We might have to get him with this next pick. We'll see. So Dak, Bijan, Jacobs, Kyron, Najee, Dobbins, J-Mo, Sutton, Godwin, Myers, Bateman. Yeah, we're going to take some more dart throws at wide receivers. We're going to want at least one more QB, at least 2 tight ends, 3 more wide receivers. Might go 3 tight end. Depends on who the double quarter or the second quarterback is. I love Calvin Ridley in late rounds as well. I don't think he kind of disappeared. Where did he get drafted at? He goes a little higher. Yeah, he goes at one at the 5-2 tonight. And I feel like, I don't know, Cam Ward goes pretty late. I don't really feel like this team's going to draft Cam Ward, but maybe. So I feel like sometimes people will try to target like a late round QB stack, but I also think, Ridley was going a lot earlier in the offseason. I feel like he's going, like people are more privy to him. But that's kind of a high. I know he goes higher in underdog drafts, but that Worthy Sutton range. I don't know if I really call that like a late round pick. Redraft, sure. Sleeper, sure. I just spilt my drink all over my face. All right, tight ends are getting. Oh, who took Ferguson? Wait. Oh, I just took him off my queue by accident. I was going to say, like, what? When did that happen? All right, there are some players I like right here. I feel like we have to go Ferguson. Now, dude. Okay. What is your problem, man? All right, he had no tight ends. He had Brock Bowers. Okay. Bowers, Burrow, Herbert. I hate this guy. It always happens to me. If Jordan Love is here, I might just pick Jordan Love with the next pick. Austin Eckler's a good pick. I might just draft Rachaad White. I know I said I was done with running backs, but we might just need Rachaad White on this team. Jordan Love, different bye week than Dak. I don't even love Jordan Love. No pun intended there. I just really feel like that is such a run-first offense, but we have Jacobs, so I guess that's kind of a stack. Then maybe we can target. Like we could go Dobbs, but I probably have to do with this next pick. So I go Dontavion Wicks late. We're already going to need to take some dart throws at the receiver position. So whatever, make it make sense, I guess. Maybe you argue redraft. You went wide receiver heavy. You need immediate production because Chargers O line is awesome. Yeah. We're just out here drafting. We're just going where the wind takes us. Right now, it's taking us to the best player of all time, Rachaad White. All right, so we have some major issues on this team now. Yeah, we got to find some tight ends here. So I did not need another running back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks. We got to go like 2 wide receiver, 3 tight end. We have decent wide receivers for holding off so long. But we want to land a little Romeo Dobbs action. I don't think he's gonna last. Is he in a contract year? I don't know that it matters. Who's the wide receiver 3 on Dallas? All right, Dontavion Wicks makes sense, but we don't even like the ADP on in this draft on wide receivers pushed back a little bit. I feel like maybe I'm wrong on that. You know, I don't know that stacks even matter at this point. I feel like I just need to go best receiver available. Let's see here. We have 5 more rounds. So if you guys want, what contest do you guys want to enter? Best Ball Mania? It is Tolbert, isn't it, J-Dubs? What is Tolbert's ADP? Dude, Tolbert had some good games last year. He had 7 touchdowns last year. I'm drafting Jalen Tolbert. But yeah, just a couple more rounds here. Yeah, why did YouTube change? So if you guys want to enter the next one, get ready. 3 late tight ends are just meta right now until we know for sure who RB2s and wide receivers 3s are. I mean, I'd never really mind like Frankensteining together a tight end room. But I don't know. I'm kind of in dangerous waters right here. There's like decent quarterbacks here. I almost wish that I didn't go quarterback when I did. After round 13, you can do what you want. That's right. Kevontae Turpin's the wide receiver 4. Okay. Dang, I was hoping Dobbs would last. Like, there are good quarterbacks. Tua, Bryce Young, Stafford, Geno. There goes Stafford. I'm definitely drafting Brenton Strange. If someone else drafts Brenton Strange, I'm leaving the draft. We could do the Pitbull if you guys want to. You guys decide. Let me know. Come on. I was going to say, if I don't get Brenton Strange, my life's over. Do you think Dak Prescott and Jordan Love is enough? It's got to be with this build, man. It's just got to be. All right, we got 2 votes for the Pitbull after this draft. There's a couple wide receivers here I don't hate, but I feel like I need to get my tight ends. And go. I think I can get the wide receivers I want. I have queued up Dontavion Wicks and Jalen Tolbert with my last 2 picks. Zach Ertz or Mike Gesicki? You guys like more? I think both are fine, honestly. With Hurts' price point right now, I have so much Jalen Hurts drafted. Yeah, he is like in terms of like the elite quarterbacks, which I still think he's in that top tier. I don't really know why people like don't feel like he is, but he's definitely the one to slide back. He averaged 21.3 fantasy points per game last year. And people are acting like he was like not productive fantasy. He had 14 rushing touchdowns, 18 passing. I went on so many Jalen Hurts rants last year. Really just rants for the entire Eagles offense. But he's a QB8 last year. He's been the QB9 or better the past 4 seasons. I guess that like one knock I guess you can make is Hurts like does miss some time. Arguably, he's missed at least 2 games in 3 of the last 4 seasons. He's missed exactly 2 games in 3 of the last 4 seasons. 2023 when he was a QB2, he missed 0 games. And last year he essentially missed 3 games actually, because week 16 he got hurt and then he didn't come back in the game. He only 4.5 points against Washington. Then he won the Super Bowl. So. Andrew likes Zach Ertz. I do too, apparently, because I drafted him. But I like Gesicki in that range too. If you're in these like late round quarterback areas, Jalen McMillan, Adam Thielen still available here. There goes me. I think McMillan is a good pick in the 16th. Like if we see an injury to anyone on that wide receiver room, like McMillan will get shares. Yeah, Hurts in the 5th is worth it. Like I don't generally draft quarterbacks that early. Like there'll be some best ball entries for sure where it happens, but like that's the point in redraft where like I would consider going quarterback early for sure. For sure. Hurts is the only top 10 drafted quarterback I'm smashing. Yeah, if he falls like that, I completely agree with you guys. 100%. 100%. Is there any life for Adam Thielen? Probably not. Not with Jalen Coker on that team. Not with Ted McMillan. Xavier Legette. Thoughts on Keenan if he lands in a good spot? Fine. I wouldn't like expect a ton. But Keenan Allen had good games last year. The problem was it was kind of difficult to like. There goes Keenan Allen. It's weird. Whenever we talk about a player, they get drafted. But he hit 12.4 fantasy points per game. We're like literally 2 seasons removed from him being the wide receiver 3 in fantasy points per game, which is crazy. 21.5 in 2023. Give me Kate Otten here. My tight end 3. But I kind of still have this weird feeling that Keenan Allen may not get drafted or signed to a team to like a few weeks into the season unless there's a big injury in the offseason. But that could just be me. I mean, he had good games last year, but it was really sporadic. He was a little bit better end of the season. He was like a big piece of one of my like championship winning teams last year, just because I ended up starting him at the right times. Week 15 he had 20 fantasy points. Week 16 he had 29.1. I think I started him in the championship too. He only had 7.5. But he had 20 or more fantasy points in every game weeks 12 through week 16, except for week 14 against Seattle. For example, I have 2 picks left. I can't believe I'm drafting Dontavion Wicks against ADP. Give me the stack, baby. But yeah, I could also see Keenan Allen getting like signed. Like I didn't think Nick Chubb would get signed as early as he did, so I could be completely wrong on that. But you know, he actually like was pretty efficient last year. Hit 10.6 yards per catch, 70 receptions, 744 receiving yards. But yeah, he was hurt early in the season. He had that big game against Arizona in week 6. But outside of that, like he was dropped in a lot of leagues basically for good reason, because that was the only game he had production up until week 12. And then became a little spotty. We just went over those numbers, and then he failed you in the championship. But it was not that bad. Like if he's on the right roster, I do think that there's definitely plenty of room for Keenan Allen this year to be productive. Keenan is a good CLV play. I don't know what that terminology means, cats. I'm not as high on Jalen Coker as some people are. Cardinals or Jets would be nice. Yeah, I think There's also rumors he could go back to the Chargers, which would be interesting. I think wherever he goes, though, he's the wide receiver 3. I mean, maybe not the Jets. Like, he could surpass Alan Lazard, I suppose. Cardinals, he could surpass Michael Wilson. Or is Greg Dortch still on the Chargers? I mean, the Cardinals? I feel like he's on a different team. He is on the Cardinals. He re-signed. Good for him. 1-year contract. Zay Jones is still in the Cardinals, too. The wide receiver room just literally hasn't changed. Really avoiding the Jags' backfield outside of Tank and occasional falling Tootin. That O-line spooks me. Yeah. It's just hard. If ETN falls at the right point in drafts, I feel like I like ETN. But to be fair, I kind of like any of their running backs if they fall at the right time. I mentioned this earlier. I just feel like it's the great debate of the offseason. Like, who is the Jags running back to go with? Closing line value. Once he signs, he will go up in ADP, and you will have gotten him at his cheapest. Okay. Look at these fancy terms, cats. Yeah, I do agree with that for sure. It's like Dobbins. Dobbins moved up in ADP right away. Same with Chubb, I suppose. I just was paying more attention to Dobbins and Chubb. But yeah, Cooper. I mean, Amari Cooper's still out there, who was semi-productive with the Browns before he went to the Bills, then had like that one touchdown with the Bills. I still don't understand what happened with him last year. All right. It's 10:54 p.m. Eastern time. At 10:55 p.m. Eastern time, I will enter the pit bull. So get ready. 20 seconds per pick. We're entering in like less than a minute. So if you guys want to draft with me, pit bull, 20 seconds per pick. Let's get ready. We're entering now. 2 spots. Fill them up, boys and girls. All right, I'm taking Jalen Tolbert with this final pick. So that will conclude this draft. Give me the stack. Let's go. All right, one draft down. Let's hop into the second one, ladies and gentlemen. I got the 1-1. All right, we're warmed up. We're ready to go. Cats, J-Dubs in here. Let me know if you guys are in here with us. Cats has been in these underdog streets heavy this year. The CLV lingo. Yeah, you guys are ahead of the curve, baby. If you guys aren't going Chase at the 1-1, who are you going with? JJ? I'm just going Chase. All right. Gaming with Wario. What's going on, man? Shout out to Wario. Underrated Mario character. Burrow, Barkley, DeAndre Swift, I'm assuming. Matthew Golden, Mike Evans, AJ Brown, Travis Kelce, Steelers D, Jake Bates, my starting lineup. What do you think? Kind of interesting. Matthew Golden's really the flex, right? Mike Evans, AJ Brown, your wide receivers 1 and 2. Is this for a redraft team? I'm assuming. Perfectly fine. I'd be interested to see who's on the bench. Like I'm fine with Matthew Golden, but I'm surprised because let's see, Barkley's probably in the first, Brown in the second, Evans in the third. Then Swift. No, that's kind of. I feel like a pick or two might be missing here. I mean, this team's perfectly fine for drafting this early, but I mean, I do like Matthew Golden, but I always get a little wary of like. I mean, he's a first round prospect based on where he was drafted. I didn't have a big role in that team, but it can be a little spooky unless you're looking at like a, MH Malik Neighbors type player starting them week one. Outside of that, I'm fine with it. But what were the ADP like? Where'd you draft some of these guys? Barkley first round, Brown second, Evans third. Like what? Where'd you draft the other guys? What rounds? Golden in the fourth, Swift in the fourth. Who's on your bench? I like the Steelers defense. I mean, they're great last year. Jake Bates is fine. Depending on where you drafted Kelsey, I don't hate him. Burrow, of course, perfectly fine. I mean, yeah, QB1, RB1, RB2, wide receiver 1 and 2 are fine. Defense good. Kicker's fine. AJ was your. Oh, wait. AJ's your wide receiver 1. Mike is flex. For odd reason, Matthews 2. Sometimes those projections, the way it'll put them in, depending on what site you drafted on, can be kind of wonky. I have no idea where I'm going to do this draft. All I know is I have to pay attention because you guys are in here. Sorry, Taylor. Ooh, Cat's like seedy at the 1-1. Chase only. I mean, I think Justin Jefferson's in that mix too, right? Should I try to go T. Higgins with this next pick if he's there? Chase, Higgins, and draft Burrow. Yeah, I figured it was Swift. I was kind of thinking maybe Devonta Smith. I was like, you're missing a running back. So yeah, I do agree in terms of the ceiling with Jamar for sure. Structure wise, I think it's easier to build out. You start wide receiver in the first 3 picks. Dude. Give me T. Higgins. I want to draft Chase Brown so bad. I want to do it. Go Bengals. Taylor, congrats on getting a badge. I got a badge pretty early, but I feel like that's cheating for me. So I'm sponsored or whatever. Chilling Barris Nagan in the 3 spot with no badge. That's right. Just mean J-Dub's true badge isn't here. What is a white and black badge? Is a red and white badge even that? Is it based off of deposit money or drafts entered? If I'm picking the top 5, I go wide receiver first typically. I like going running back anywhere after that. Fair. How do you like Chase Higgins and Chase Brown as a start, Taylor? Bench is a bit shaky. I was busy during the bench draft. Jordan Love, Eckler, Pittman, Eagles defense, Chris Boswell, Hollywood Brown, Tyler Ward. Yeah, I don't think that you need 2 defenses or 2 kickers. I really don't think if you have Pittsburgh's defense, I don't think you need Philly's defense. And like Philly's defense is fine to roster. I don't know. I just personally like I don't think that you need to roster 2 defenses and 2 kickers, especially if you're kind of struggling in terms of flex players. I just don't think that's necessary. Trust me, you can stream. We'll have a video every week this year. First thing on Monday, every single week. Streaming defense is always going to be the way to go. I mean, Philly's defense was defense 5 last year. They've only improved. But Pittsburgh's defense was defense 3. They kind of fizzled out at the end of the season. I mean, I don't know. I think you could roster both, but you don't need to roster both kickers. You can definitely cut one of the kickers. But I mean, Jordan Love perfectly fine as a QB2. I don't. You're not. I don't. As long as Burrow's healthy, you're not going to need Jordan Love outside the bye week. Eckler, Pittman, Hollywood Brown, Tyler Warren, all fine. But yeah, I'm still interested to know. Okay, we're getting there. Drafted Saquon first, Burrow second, Mike Evans in the 5th. It's a very interesting draft. I might just draft a really weird team tonight. I'm not even going to say anything. Let's switch it up. Don't tell me Hurts. Okay, Hurts and Burrow have different bye weeks. Let's switch it up. You do not need to draft a quarterback in the second round. How did you end up with Burrow in the second? We're all like, was Allen gone and Daniels and Lamar? Now I'm starting to question this draft. Drake London in the second is polarizing for me. Either he smashes or he's overrated. I actually agree. I do. Like, I think it's fine to take him there. And that there are some Drake London haters starting to come out for sure. But he averaged 16.5 fantasy points per game last year, which is a career high. And let's see, Michael Penix played week 17 through 18. Wait, 16 through 18. So 10.9 points for Lundo in week 16, 17.6 in week 17. Then he had 40 fantasy points in week 18 in a meaningless game against Carolina. 10 catches off of 18 targets, 187 receiving yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns. So I feel like that's like the draw people are looking at. I mean, he was the wide receiver 6 last year. Wide receiver 13 in fantasy points per game. It's like I feel like it's somewhat appropriate. But I do agree, like statistically, like last year was his best year. And like the quarterback play, of course, was in complete shambles 2022, 2023. Yeah, we haven't, last year was, you could easily argue his breakout year. I think Lamb has scored more half PPR points than any other wide receiver the last 2 years. Saw a post earlier. Yeah, I don't mind Lamb in that conversation at all. I don't know. I think the first round wide receivers are just absolutely loaded this year. Chase, JJ Lamb, Amon-Ra, Puka, Neighbors, Collins, Brian Thomas Jr. Like I could see any of those guys finishing as a wide receiver, the wide receiver 1 this year. Would have picked different for my RB2, but the player when it was Jacobs, he was gone when it was my pick. When did you draft Swift? Round 2, Lad will feed families. Yeah, I also think the wide receivers in the second round are pretty dang good. It's Drake London. I still like AJ Brown. I don't get the AJ Brown hate. Lad, JSN. Do you guys consider Hill a round 2 receiver or 3? For me, I kind of view him as a 3. Then you got like Garrett Wilson, Terry, MH, Evans. But I could see any of those guys going in the second round, depending on who you're drafting with. Dude, this is why I hate going quarterback early. You know what? You guys aren't getting, you're not getting DeAndre Swift. I'm getting him. Suck it. I hate these wide receivers. Like, actually hate them. Jaden Reed. It was Debo or Jaden Reed. This is why I hate going quarter. I went double quarterback early too. Oh my gosh. Gross. I'm the 1-1, Andrea. Could try to get some trade value from Boswell and the Eagles defense. I don't think. I mean, generally, this time of year, like, who's going to trade for a kicker and defense? It's going to be really tough to do, my guy. But if you can get it done, for sure. Like, I would take any skill position player. I mean, you already have a great kicker and a great defense, so. Catch is taking Adams in every draft I've seen him too. Hey, he likes his guys. Yeah, you guys like that move? All the good quarterbacks are starting at the end of the first, beginning of the second. Interesting. 29% shares of Adams. Hey, it could be much worse. Sell me on Chuba at his price. Yeah, I mean, you guys know I was super high on Chuba last year. But for every dead zone running back, you get a Zamir White. So, I was high on Zamir White too. Just let you guys, full transparency. I do think Chuba's, he's the RB 14 last year. He also had he had a couple of really big games. Weeks 3, 4, 9, 10, 14, and 16. He had 20 or more fantasy points. You take away those games, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double-digit games. And that's still pretty dang good. The lows were pretty bad, but that's still pretty dang good. He has some bad games in there. I'm not gonna lie. I think Rico Dowdle could end up getting a good amount of touches on this team, though. I do. Call me crazy. I worry about that more than anything. I don't personally really worry about Trevor Etienne. If they hadn't added Rico Dowdle, I'd be all in on Chuba at this price. Like, Kamara's close to that range. Kenneth Walker's there. I like Walker a lot. Joe Mixon is still there. Say what you want. Mixon was great last year. I know Chubb is there. Offensive line is question marks, but I don't know if I'm really the one to sell you Chuba at his price or on Chuba at his price. I think he's just fine right there. Perfectly fine. I might hold out and see if like a Kenneth Walker's there. I might be okay with that. I hate this draft, guys. I absolutely hate this draft. I hate it so much that I'm just going to take 2 tight ends here. I'm going to take Andrews and Evan Ingram. And I'm not going to draft another tight end or another quarterback. I'm just going to take complete dart throws at running back and receiver for the rest of this draft. This is why I don't switch it up. This is it's good to have entries like this. It is. But it feels bad because now I'm so away from my normal strategies that I this probably just made it worse. But no lie, I did the Hertz and Burrow combo in a poodle slow draft earlier from the 1-1. Burrow fell to pick 72. Yeah, I mean that's very different than 49. I mean, truthfully, looking at the board, he may have fallen to 72. But that's the thing, if I had to commit to the bit, right? I mean, I got the whole Bengals offense. That's why I feel like taking Hurts and Burrow there is just a worse version of what someone else already got. Hey, it was meant to be. Have a good night, Andrea. Yeah, I mean, Cat's going to get his guys. Kittle at 46, Adams at 27. Nothing wrong with those picks. I think I drafted Swift like 4th because Josh was gone. I needed receivers. Josh Allen? Josh Downs? That's the only other Josh I can think of. Oh, Josh Jacobs. Sorry. You already mentioned Josh Jacobs. Have a ton of exposure to elite quarterbacks here. Can't believe how late they're going. I feel like Mahomes and Allen were going at the 2-3 turn last year. Yeah, early in the offseason last year. Like, they were going second round for sure. Yeah, this draft is gross. Jaden Reed or Debo Samuel. Who do you guys like? Come on. I think I've clicked Debo or Ayuk one time in like 200 drafts. I actually like Debo at his ADP. If Debo's a guy you need week 17, so be it. Who does Washington pick or play in week 17? Who's your first pick? Jamar Chase. Dropped Hollywood Brown, picked up McMillan. He was higher rated than Brown. What do you think? I mean, they're both like in a wide receiver 3 area on their team. Like Brown has Rice and Worthy in front of him, volume to Kelsey too. McMillan has Godwin, Evans, and presumably Amika Bukba in front of him. I think McMillan's a little bit more reliant on an injury happening. Brown could have a role without an injury happening. I think in like a full redraft type scenario, I'd rather have Hollywood Brown. But I'm okay with McMillan. I'm okay with him. If this team wins Best Ball Mania, I will buy everyone in this chat a jersey of their choice because this is the worst team ever assembled. I'm going to go J.K. Dobbins. I feel like just for the memories, I need to go Christian Kirk. But I'll go Marvin Mims because I do like Marvin Mims a lot. This will basically be the pattern for the rest of this draft, just running back, wide receiver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks. Yeah. Yeah. No one told you to go 2 quarterbacks. Yeah, you guys did. It was you guys, not me. Yeah, I have this is so far, but like once again, it is good to get away from the norm and switch up your exposures and build. So it is what it is. It is what it is. We're here. We're here, boys. Reed, 10 out of 10. See, there we go. So looking through other teams, someone literally is Stephon Diggs on the bench. I mean, that makes sense in redraft. I mean, he's going pretty late in redraft drafts right now. His ADP is 94.8 on Sleeper. So He's not, especially in like, I don't know if it's a single or double flex, but in a single flex league, Diggs will be on the bench. He's on a new team. He's coming off an injury, and he's old. He's an old guy. For some reason, I'm drinking Coke Zero at 11:18, which is a really bad decision for me personally. Not gonna lie, I have a lot of Reed and Golden. I almost said Golden Tate. I don't know why. Matthew Golden, because of Baltimore Green Bay Week 1 stacks. I like that. That's an interesting matchup. And everyone's acting like Baltimore's secondary is like so loaded. And they were awful last year. Like, just don't forget that. Like, I know they signed Jair Alexander, who played like 7 games last year. But that secondary was awful last year. Trying to actually look. He missed 8 games last year or 10. He missed enough. Damn it, Cats. Dude, get Cats out of the draft. Can we kick Cats out of the I'm gonna draft 8 quarterbacks just because Cats took my player. Wow. When I say I hate the options available on the board right now, I actually hate the options very, very badly. Give me Sid Tillman. We might have to draft another team tonight, boys. I don't know if I can end the night here. I don't know. I'm about to draft Trey Benson, who is not a player that I like drafting. Yeah, I'm mad at Cats, dude. You don't even need Rashad White, bro. You have Josh Jacobs, Travion Henderson, and Tyrone Tracy, like the best running backs ever. It's ridiculous. Joining the new league, I'm going to draft wide receivers, running backs first, quarterback later. That's generally for redraft what I always recommend. And of course, Tuesday nights we're doing subscriber mock drafts through Sleeper. So if you want to join, come out and practice. We'd love to have you. And I do have redraft strategy videos out for most draft picks for the first round. Picks 1.1 through 1.7 for 12-team formats. So if you want to check those out, they may help you out as well. And I'll be continuing to make those as the offseason progresses. But yeah, if you ever want to come out Tuesday nights, we do subscriber mock draft live streams. This team had a chance till you went Reed Swift. That's where it ended. He made interesting moves to start, which didn't formulate a plan. You went Swift Reed combo for the L. Yeah, I mean, you got to switch it up. I'm going to have, dozens and dozens of entries. And I actually don't think that was the worst. I mean, it's like, how to get an RB2, and I prefer Swift as an RB3, but I'm fine in this scenario with him as an RB2. I was like, who are we going to go wide receiver with over Reed? I actually don't hate Jaden Reed personally at his ADP. Depends, I guess, on who you like. But, he averaged 11.6 fantasy points per game last year, which is definitely not what we want ideally in that spot. But he was, has been a top 30 wide receiver 2 years in a row. So I guess it's like, okay. the floor is there, the ceiling not high though. Because this was a team very, very far deviated away from normal strategy for sure. For sure. Not a fan about releasing Jair as a Packers fan, but at the same time, he's been a burden with missing so many games. With Xavier McKinney, I think we might be okay. Now, you guys definitely need some depth. But I mean, the secondary was good last year without Jair. So we'll see what happens. But isn't Xavier McKinney going to play safety potentially? Yeah, I'm not reviewing our teams, guys. We're just going into the next draft when this one's over. I want to forget this draft ever happened. I'm gonna have to like name this team something so we can track this team. All right, Rico Dowdle, let's go, baby. And I guess go Rondell Robinson here. Who's the wide receiver 2 on the Giants? Is it Slayton or is it Robinson? I feel like people have different opinions on that. I guess it's really whoever the starting quarterback makes it because we don't really know outside of Neighbors who's going to garner the most targets there. Chase, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Hello, hello. Having a good night. Just hanging out with the boys, drafting. Drafting some weird-ass teams tonight. Can't get Sleeper on my phone. It won't work on mine. I have ESPN. Try it on desktop. Sleeper's better on computer anyways. Can't do Underdog in my state, which sucks. Yeah, we'd love to have you, bro. I'll talk to Underdog about that. I haven't done any ESPN drafts. I haven't done any Yahoo drafts. I would be interested to see ADP. But you guys know that I just stick to Underdog and Sleeper because I think they're the two best ways to get the most accurate sense of what's going to actually happen come August time, early September time. But yeah, it is like I play in one Yahoo league every year. It's a league I've been in like forever. And whenever I go into those drafts, I'm like, wait, what in the world? I'm like, what is this ADP? All right, 2 running backs, 2 tight ends, or excuse me, 2 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends, 5 running backs, 6 receivers. Tony, this might be the best team ever. You took Rachaad White from me, bro. It should be a golden rule on this channel that nobody can draft Rachaad White when I am drafting. All right, I think running back's done. Jeez. I would maybe draft Justice Hill. I would maybe draft a Chiefs running back. Maybe. I guess Nick Chubb. I would probably take Chubb on this team if he lasted, I guess. This team does need another running back. I picked Puka first round as a tough choice. I was 8th pick, and the great wide receivers were gone. I took St. Brown second. Amon-Ra in the second? Is this on ESPN? What are these ADPs, dude? And Puka is still a great wide receiver. Perfectly fine. Wow. These are not the players. How many picks do we have left, guys? 3. Who's your guys' 18th round target? Who's that end of end of draft guy you going for? I think I'm going to draft Anthony Richardson just for fun. White wants out of Tampa. Never. No, that's false. Fake news. Who's saying such a thing? He's going to get re-signed. I mean, I think it makes sense that after this year he won't be back with Tampa, but he could come back on a team-friendly deal. But with Bucky Irving being there, and even with Sean Tucker, who will still be on the team next year in his 4th season, Rashad White would never say that. Never. For those of you guys new to the channel, Rashad White is a long running, I don't want to say meme, a long running player that we talk about. One of my favorite players. One of my biggest calls for 2023. I did like Rashad White a lot last year too. So, but honestly, when you break down Rashad White, last year, he's not that bad. Just bad at his ADP. All right, I'm looking it up, bro Chacho. Publicly hinted at leaving the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after his current contract expires. Yeah, okay, that I didn't know. Yeah. That I didn't know. But you never know. We'll see what happens. Wherever Rashad White goes, he'll be the GOAT. Adams. Oh, sorry, guys. I didn't realize I wasn't showing the screen. Adams doesn't go that early in my drafts. It's always got a nice Adams London bring back. Been in my dynasty for years. Let's go. See, I knew quid pro quo was a real one. Rashad White, truthers unite. Someone took Lamar the pick before me. Oh, are you doing a mock? I couldn't think of the word. All right, get ready. We're entering our last draft in just a few moments, boys and girls. I'm telling you guys right now, this team is gonna be the team that wins Best Ball Mania. You guys remember this draft, okay? Dude, I was going to take Jalen Coker. No, I had Alec Ale Manor queued up next. Dude, it's pretty gross. Dude, I think I am going to draft Anthony Richardson just for fun. Just give me, honestly, just give me Dontavion Wicks. Let's do it. I kind of like Wicks in that range. All right, let's just run it back, boys. Pitbull lobby. I'm in it. You guys aren't in there. Should I enter a second one? I'll do it. Let me know. Yeah, I was joking about Anthony Richardson. I was not going to draft him. That was a joke. Sorry, it's late. And There's a lot of sarcasm on the channel, at least in the live streams. All right, I need to draft a normal team. But yeah, I mean, Anthony Richardson last, like, no one drafted him. Am I at the 1-1 again? Bro, what is this? Okay, geez, that's gross. White, Swift, and Devonta Smith. Did I miss any of your other favorite players? No, those are the guys. I feel like those have been the guys on the channel since the beginning. Baker. We've been strong supporters of Baker Mayfield on the channel. He's my most drafted quarterback last year. Devon Achane, once he got drafted by the Dolphins, he was like a big call. But yeah, those are probably the three guys. DJ Moore. I feel like DJ Moore might be. We were really high on JMO last year, too. I talked a lot about JMO last offseason. I feel like DJ Moore is close to this range of players, though. I'm literally looking through. I feel like Bo Nix has entered the territory potentially. I still feel like fantasy content wise, I started the Bo Nix train last year. Don't get my credit for it, of course. But yeah, those are probably Brock. I feel like Brock Purdy's got to be on the list. I want you guys to remember, those of you who told me that Brock Purdy was not going to be the starter for the Niners. That was one of my big things I got correct. You Sam Darnold, Trey Lance truthers out there. Yeah. I remember you guys. I feel like Purdy's got to be on there, dude. White, Swift, Smith, Purdy. Christian Kirk was another name that's gone downhill since, but I was really high on Trevor Lawrence for a long period of time. I will admit it. I don't know that I'm like out on him though. Maybe some of that is where the Christian Kirk was on the list for sure. For sure. Let me know in the chat if there's another name that you recall me consistently talking about. I was really high on Josh Jacobs the year he absolutely balled out. Let's draft Josh Jacobs in honor of that. All right, I'm just going to switch it up here. Doing an actual fantasy team. Is it a free league? Mike Evans as a flex. That's not as hard as you think. Cats can't draft another one. Nice. Let's go. Maxed it out. Final entry with the boys. With the boys. I know. I don't really like the 1-1. I got the one. If you guys remember last offseason when I was doing underdog drafts, like to start the offseason, like until we got to like at least the second week of August, like, and I had pulled it up in front of you guys. It was like 75% of my drafts were between the 1-1 and the 1-4. And most of them were at like the 1-1, 1-2. I'm like, something weird is going on there. So maybe it's happening again. There you go. Got your guy, Mike Evans. Yeah, I'm not crazy at the 1-1. Last year, what I talked a lot about is trying to get wide receivers in this range. I mean, we'll basically be going hero running back here and then trying to get wide receivers in this range that we can build a stack with. So we still have like a high upside stack. So I'll go for Kyler in this draft over Burrow. Burrow if he falls. But it's just a tough spot. Like, let's see here. Burrow's ADP 63. Kyler's is 95. It's like I have picked 96, so like that would be ideal. It's for Kyler. It's harder to get Burrow unless he falls to pick 72, which I just don't know is going to happen. So basically, I'm either going to go hero running back and hold off at running back, try to get Kyler in the mid there, or I'll kind of go bounce back, go wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, quarterback if Kyler's there, then running back or wide receiver, whoever the best available player I pick 73 is, and then we'll reevaluate. I pick 96. Oh, dang it. No, Kyler's pick 96, ideally. So it's going to depend on who's here. And there's, I don't know, man. If James Cook falls here, might be going double hero RB. I do like Kenneth Walker here, too. It's a good range of wide receivers that just got wiped off the board right there. I actually like DK Metcalf in this range. He gets selected, though. I feel like this is... I'm fine taking Cook here. I do like Jalen Hurts in this range. I do. But Cortland Sutton as a wide receiver 3, and this is like another type of area where like Bo Nix is at least still going later. So maybe if we don't land Kyler with pick 96 or 97, we can still go Bo Nix. So yeah, we're basically in a bounce back strategy is what I call this. So when wide receiver in the first round, then running back in the second, then wide receiver again, then running back, then wide receiver. Probably fill out running back, wide receiver at pick 72 and 73. But with this being a 3 wide receiver set, we could just go wide receiver at pick 72 and 73. We have a strong start at running back, and they have different bye weeks, so I'm not too concerned there. And I was going to go late round tight end or let like a good value tight end come to us. We'll see what happens. I feel like it's the most strategy of any team tonight. This team is taking 10th if it peaks king, 10th in the draft, just my opinion, but Goddard, Shipley, Taj Brooks for picks to go with your build regardless of how it seemed. Oh, the last draft we did? We'll see what happens, bro. Yeah, that one was a little rough. But yeah, didn't go for any Eagles stack whatsoever there. All right, so I actually just went over a little bit of what we're going to try and do. Lost connection, missed my draft pick, got Hunter instead of Monty. Could be worse. Appreciate it, Scott. And keep in mind, guys, like, once again, I'm going to have, I don't mind kind of just having like the teams where like the entry's kind of weird. And this is something I talk about a lot too. You should have some teams where you're deviating away from your strategies and just drafting a bit different, because if you have way too many entries where like you're sticking to the same types of strategies, you're drafting the same players that you're high on. I always talk about like 2 years ago, Breece Hall, George Pickens, Amari Cooper. Those are really good examples of players that like you had to have essentially to advance. Like week 16 of 2023, Breece Hall had 43.1 points and 27.6 in week 17. But like it was basically impossible to advance if you didn't have Breece Hall past week 16. George Pickens that year had 35.5 points in week 16, then 20 in week 17. So same type of scenario. And then Amari Cooper had 51.5 points in week 16. So if you like were low on one of those players, you didn't have a high exposure to them, then like your odds of moving forward in 2023 just like went way down. All right, so let's go. Jacoby Myers. Jerry Judy's fine there too. I like Myers. And Swift. I like Swift a lot more as an RB3. So Jacobs, James Cook, DeAndre Swift, Jamar Chase, Marvin Harrison, Cortland Sutton, Jacoby Myers. So we're looking at wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, running back. Essentially the same thing here. A wide receiver and running back coming out of this round. We'll try and go quarterback at pick 96 or 97. Hopefully we get Kyler or Bo Nix. That'll give us a little stack. And then really we're just going best available player at the other selection there at the turn. Evan Ingram would be interesting to add to this team, but I don't know that he's going to be there at pick 120. Be kind of reaching for him if we got like Bo and Evan Ingram. We'd be pretty sold into that Denver offense at that point. Took Hurts last time I got the 1-1. I've got 18% chase. Yeah, that's the thing too. Like it's really hard if you have a lot of drafts at the 1-1, at the 1-2, 1-3, because like you're so inclined to take one of those top players that you get a really high exposure to those top players. Where like if you're drafting like the 1-6, 1-7 through the 1-12, it's just easier to take chances on different players at that point. You know what I mean? Like it's easier to get different exposure because you're more willing to mix up this range of players of like CeeDee Lamb, Gibbs, Neighbors, Puka, Amon-Ra, Collins, Genty, B. Tom, whoever it may be. So be annoyed. Burrow fell to the middle 6 in my draft. Yeah, and redraft, that's pretty appropriate. Shadows Wicked have a one-man league keeper. Keep Kyron to lose a 8th rounder or Brock Bowers to lose a 10th rounder. Tight end slot in my league is a tight end or wide receiver spot. That is interesting. Tight end or receiver. Well, you can look at this one or two ways. I generally am going to try and take the value at running back or wide receiver when it comes to keeper leagues. But I think with Bowers being like the unanimous tight end 1. Oh, there goes Kyler. We need Bo Nix here. And then like that's the thing. If you get Bowers, you just don't have to think about tight end. 10th round is already a good area to select a tight end. I think I would just go Bowers because like he's a 2nd round value right now. He's as valuable, arguably, as a wide receiver, anyways. So it doesn't really hurt the tight end wide receiver type spot. I think I would just lock him up. Then you don't even have to think about the tight end position the entire draft. You know what I mean? So I think that's what I would do personally. All right, let's just go with the Bo Nix, Evan Ingram stack added to the Sutton stack. Yeah, like you don't have to draft another tight end whatsoever. And don't like, once again, like I personally, if you have a player like Bowers secured to your roster, I just don't think you need to draft another tight end. Like maybe you get to the final 2 rounds and like it's just gross across the board. There's a guy that maybe you like Brenton Strange, like whatever, sure. But yeah, you don't need to spend any other draft capital that like matters at the position. I do really personally like Kyron Williams. and then like you're kind of utilizing like a double hero RB build where your second running back is gone in the 8th is how I would think of it. But I'd probably just keep Bowers. Don't have to draft a tight end. It gives you that advantage. I think with keeper leagues like Bowers and McBride are like the only players I really feel that way about. Oh, you took Hurts at the 1-1. My bad. I was just thinking like you had the 1-1, and at some point in the draft, you selected Hurts. My bad. Okay, that's that's rough. Team last year had Lamar, Henry, and Jacobs. Very nice. Very nice. My exposures are too flat this year, says Taylor. Last year, my Chuba Hill, Bateman, Mooney bags were heavy. Need to start planting some flags. Yeah. I mean, it's okay, of course, to quote unquote plant flags as well. I just always encourage you guys, make sure you're putting some teams together that have players that you don't feel as good about, that you're not as high on, whatever it may be. Because fantasy football is a weird place. Truthfully, like one of the best things you could do is in underdog drafts in the 18th round of every draft is just scroll to like this area, like the deep, dark trenches, and draft a player who you completely make up a hypothetical on. Because usually towards the end of the season, we see some weird players start to pop up due to injuries, different things. Before you know it, Sincere McCormick is a guy for a week or two. So take that with a grain of salt, but could certainly be a thing. I have heard other underdog drafters talk about that before. All right, so we got a little stack with Knicks, Sutton, and Evan Ingram. Try and get J.K. Dobbins on this team. Why not? Do you need another wide receiver as well? Wide receivers, I don't know. It's a weird tier of wide receivers. I do like Christian Kirk in this range. I feel like wide receivers are just drying up. It's underdog drafts, man. At some point, I will draft another quarterback and tight end as well. I like Zach Charbonnet in this range. There he goes. Yeah. It's just like if Kenneth Walker goes down, I mean, you guys saw the numbers that Charbonnet was putting up last year. I could just wrap up running back here. I like Dak Prescott in this range, though. Let's just wrap up running back. Let's go for upside with Dobbins and Tajay Spears. End up with Josh Allen as quarterback, and nothing wrong with that. Yeah, got to get your internet connection strong before you start drafting. I mean, truthfully, in redraft, I would rather draft a skill position player before going defense. Once again, you can stream defenses and you will be fine. Do not need to spend high draft capital on defense. Trying to think of my exposures last year, Taylor, that I was firm on. Hollywood Brown, which didn't work out. I did start to up my Xavier Worthy shares as the offseason went on. I was really high on the Chiefs wide receivers last year, and 2 of them got hurt. I was pretty high on Chupa, for sure. Zamir White. So there's another like 50-50. Trying to think of I was really high on Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. I was high on the Purdy, Ayuk, or Debo stack, which didn't really work out. But some of those teams had CMC on it too. When I was drafting from the 1-1, I would draft a lot of Niners and Chiefs, which did not work out great. But Barkley and Henry was really high on, had a lot of exposure to those guys last year. And it didn't even really matter, which is frustrating. I feel like I still drafted a lot of DJ Moore last year. I drafted a lot of Zay Flowers and Devonta Smith. Jameson Williams, I had a large exposure to. Baker Mayfield, I had a large exposure to. I feel like I had a good amount of exposure to Lions players in general last year. Oh my gosh. Remember, for those of you guys who were here at this time last year, I was so high on Luke Musgrave at his ADP. And the thesis was there. It was Tucker Kraft, not Luke Musgrave. So that is a good example of a thesis that just didn't work out. All right, let's go for our tight end 2 here. If Jake Ferguson's available, I'll take him. I think I'm just going to kind of Frankenstein my last. I don't know. I might just take quarterback here. But if Marvin Mims is here, I feel like I got to go Marvin Mims. I don't want to, though. Let's go Ferguson. Man, Mims is falling against ADP, though. No one wants to take him because they don't have Bo Nix, so they're not risking it. I feel like I'm always drafting Austin Eckler in this range. If I get Marvin Mims, I just have screw it. Just take Marvin Mims. We need wide receiver help. I have the entire Broncos offense on this team. Bo Nix, J.K. Dobbins, Sutton, Marvin Mims, Evan Ingram. So I'm just missing RJ Harvey. When in Ravens defense, they're taking the pick before me, got stuck with the Lions. Yeah, even if you're in the 8th or 9th round, you don't need to pick a defense at this point. Stream a defense. It is always the way to go. Keep loading up at skill position players, building your bench. And don't stress too much about spending high draft capital on defenses. All right, so done at running back with this team. Really just need to knock out a quarterback, maybe 2 quarterbacks. I'm pretty high on Knicks. Got enough upside at running back that I'm happy. Need to draft 3 receivers. How many more picks do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3 receivers, a quarterback, and I guess just best player available, or I could go 2 quarterbacks in total. Do you like Chuba as an RB2? Yeah, we talked about Chuba earlier tonight. I think he's fine where he is. I'm more worried about Rico Dowdle than I am Trevor Etienne. if they hadn't gone out and gotten Rico Dowdle, like I would like Chuba a bit more, but he is like going at a relatively steep price. Um, like Kenneth Walker's ADP on Sleeper is 46.8. Chuba's is 47.1. Then Mixon is 47.8. If you were to wait a bit, Monty has an ADP of 57.3. Swift has an ADP of 78. Pollard has an ADP of 75. So, like, I think there are good enough players if you don't land Chuba, and that there are players in that range that I also like. So it's kind of a tough spot. The ADP makes it a bit challenging, I think, where he's going. But I don't hate him. All right, let's take a looky. There's a chance. I mean, all these teams in front of me have two quarterbacks. I'll be okay with. Okay, there goes Tua. I don't know why. It's like the curse. Anytime he's got Waddle, so that makes sense. Anytime I talk about a player, they get drafted. I guess I'll take Romeo Dobbs for those like 2 games. He's good next year. I could just draft Pat Bryant because, you know, let's go Rico Dowdle. Let's just even it out. 2 more wide receivers and 1 quarterback. This team is really relying on Bo Nix. I mean, we're taking some shots at quarterback as this thing moves on. Had to pick a defense in the 14th round. Okay, well, that's not bad. Going with Zach Ertz as a bench player. Yeah, he's fine as a tight end too, but once again, I would prioritize running backs and wide receivers always when it comes to the bench. But we'll see. All right, deep wide receiver room starters are Puka, St. Brown, Evans. The fact that you got St. Brown in the second is like mind blowing to me. Your bench is Quentin Johnston, Darnell Mooney, Travis Hunter, J-Mo. Yeah, this is a fine wide receiver room. I mean, Quentin Johnston's easily the worst player here, but Puka, St. Brown, Evans, Mooney, Hunter, J-Mo's definitely very solid. Definitely very solid. Is it a single flex type league? I'm just hoping that the least amount of quarterbacks get drafted here as possible. There goes. As soon as I say that, there goes Sam Darnold. I never wanted Sam Darnold so bad in a draft until right now. Dang, I really wanted Aaron Rodgers on this team. Yeah, this team is officially 100% reliant on Bo Nix. I'm going to literally have to draft Daniel Jones. It's not a good feeling. Not a good feeling whatsoever. Everything else about this team was fine. I mean, really, I should have not drafted Dobbs or Dowdle, like whichever one you want to look at, and drafted Darnold or Rodgers. I just thought that one of them may fall out. And they have a couple of teams with 3 quarterbacks, which I guess definitely happens. I'm just wondering if I should go double receiver right here and then just draft like Russell Wilson to end. I may just do that. Just hope for a very healthy year from Bo Nix. I mean, Daniel Jones could fall. All right, give me Calvin Austin, wide receiver 2 for the Steelers. Give me Keenan Allen. It was Bo Nix time, baby. Someone in your league got Hurts, Jacobs, and Chase. Are these free leagues? It's the thing, man. Like, is it really going to matter after like week 9? Sometimes that happens too if you draft free leagues, especially too early. There's like dominant teams and teams can start to fall out of the league. All right, boys and girls, just 1 round left, 1.5 rounds. Weird teams tonight. But we had fun. We talked some fantasy football. We got some good fantasy questions in here. Tuesday night, we'll have a subscriber mock draft on Sleeper. So make sure you guys are keeping peeled on Discord for the invite. Other than that, we'll have some content coming out throughout the week for you guys, videos and shorts. So make sure you guys are checking them out. And we'll start wrapping up in a couple minutes here. 3 drafts down tonight. Very, very interesting squads tonight. Happens. But good for the exposure. Good to get some different teams in the mix here, different players in the mix, different strategies in the mix. But yeah, we're just sitting back. We got about a month until training camp and things start really popping off. So appreciate you guys hanging out. We'll continue to do 1 underdog stream either Saturday or Sunday night, then the subscriber mock draft either Monday or Tuesday. Most weeks it's been Tuesdays. ESPN drafting opens very early. I think you can draft on most sites by now. Sleeper, of course, you can draft at any point in time, which is nice. All right, this final pick is either Daniel Jones or Russell Wilson. Gross. All right, I guess Tyler Shuck. Could he be the next Bo Nix to pair with Bo Nix? I don't know. Yeah, not the best teams tonight, guys. Like I said, it's good for the exposure. So usually, like, I cap running back at like 5 running backs. I even used to be okay capping running back at 4. Did not do that tonight at all. But it is what it is. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Make sure you guys hit the like on the way out. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. We're basically in July, guys. So July is Monday. We're going to start cranking out. We've already been putting out more content as of late, but we'll definitely start cranking out more and more dedicated content. And come August time, we should have a video out at least 5 days a week. So it's going to be a good season. All right, Daniel Jones it is with the final pick. It's doing that weird glitch where it doesn't let me make the final pick, but it'll be Daniel Jones. I drafted Tucker. Kraft is one of my tight ends. Yeah, I like Kraft as a tight end next year for sure. Appreciate you subscribing. Thanks for hanging out tonight, Gaming with Wario. Plenty more of streams to come, so I'll be able to help with whatever you guys need out there. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Thank you guys for a great stream, talking some fantasy, having some fun. We'll be back soon. Make sure you guys are keeping your eyes peeled for the content as it comes out this week. So, everyone, have a great rest of your weekend. Be safe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. With that, I'll say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, yes, odd here on the catch, and peace.